Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you? Patricia here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, but more specifically in Alaska. Sorry, this wants to not stay where I put it. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's go up just a little bit. The reason I have to adjust it after I start is because in order to get this to be landscape, I have to put the phone facing horizontally and then turn it. That doesn't even make sense. But anyway, that's what I have to do. There we go. Okay, so this is sort of the card that we're going to make, but I'm going to show you some tricks. Now, the first thing is we're going to do a new little character here. And the reason we're going to do a new character is I couldn't find my fresh Freesia, Stampin' Blends. So once I got this done, I was like, I really like that, but that pink is just almost garish on that card. And I don't know where my fresh Freesia blends have gone. I probably sent them home, although how I did, I don't know, because I didn't think I had sent any blends home. Nonetheless, here we are. We're going to redo our little character. So, another thing is I used an old retired designer series paper. So just because your paper has gone by the wayside, that doesn't mean you don't keep using it. I mean, that's just a little tiny bit. I cut that out of this and made my umbrella, and that looks like an umbrella. So that's what I'm going to go with. But I want to show you how I made her anyway. So let's set this all aside. Let's bring in our stamp. Oh, one thing I was going to show you. Somebody asked me the other day, how do I put the labels on these? So I thought I would show you again. This comes at, let me show you the whole stamp set. Hold on. Here we go. Umbrella Days, one of my favorites. I just love this. It is, I don't know, there's something about it. You are the umbrella to my rainy days. The storm will end and the sun will shine again. Be brave. I can just see a little word bubble that the dog is saying, be brave. I don't know. That's just silly, but anyway, I love it. So it comes, the stamps come in this block. Now, I used to throw them away, this block part. But one of the reasons I don't do it anymore, and sometimes it's like, oh, come on, get back in there. But one of the reasons I don't throw it away anymore is because I can look half a second and I know whether I have all of my stamps or not. Now, what I used to do is look here on the front and go, okay, there should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I'm missing 3. Okay, now I know exactly what they are, what's missing, and exactly how many. So I don't throw them away anymore. It's a personal thing entirely. Some people don't even put the labels on. So it comes with this covering. I simply take the covering off. Now, it will stick, it will stick to your block, okay? So it's sticking just fine. However, especially for sentiments, I don't like it. I just went to put one of these on a while ago, and I almost put it on upside down. And it's like, no. Part of it is you can tell by the cutout. But here's what I do. So I look on here. This is the direction that the stamp is going to be. So I turn to the back of that. And if you look here, you hopefully in the camera, I very clearly here can see that there is a split down the middle. Now, most of the time the split will be the long direction, but sometimes it's like, well, there's no real wrong direction. And you can sort of see where these splits are because of where I folded them. So I find that split, and on one end, I put a little flag, just turn it over, and I put a little flag on the other end going the opposite direction so that I have both of those pieces. Then I come to the edge of the stamp, or to the label, and I just pull it out. Now that's giving me, yeah, it was giving me just a smidgen bit of difficulty coming out of there. I try not to get my fingerprints on there, but honestly, it doesn't matter. So then I put it on my block, okay? I want to be absolutely certain that I've got this down nice and flat, and it doesn't really take smoothing it out like that. I'm just showing you. I want it to be nice and flat because I get one chance and one chance only to put this on there. Then I'm going to take the cover off, throw it away, take the other one off, throw it away. Okay, then I'm going to turn it over. I've got my stamp here. I'm going to move you down really, really closely if I can. So hopefully you can see there's a little tiny edge to this label that matches up exactly with the stamp itself. Now, camera's a little bit in my way, but I'm going to try. Like I said, you get one chance and one chance only. Whoa. Okay, I almost, woo. See there? I'm going to, yep. I got just the tiniest little shadow, and it's because I've got the camera right here in my face. But I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to get that lined up just as closely as I can to where it should be. There we go. And set it down. And once it's down, like I said, you get one chance. It's never going to come apart. Okay? It's on there. Now I can peel it off, put it back on as often as I want. I put it back in the case where it goes, just like this. And then I can, and if I have to, pull those little edges out. You know, it doesn't matter if it pops up. It sort of makes it easier to pull out of the case if I leave it up anyway. Okay, so let me get that back. Oh, you're still not quite. There you go. Is that better? Okay, so that's how you put those labels on there. By the way, these are the stamps in this. I'll show you the picture. Okay, these are the stamps. There's Rain, the puppy, the kiddo, and the young lady, and then the 3 sentiments. And then there are, on the dies, there's a grass base, there's a cane, or the piece of an umbrella, if you want to piece together an umbrella. The cutout for the puppy, the cutout for the boots, 3 clouds. This is the cutout for the puppy's clothes, if you want to put clothes on the puppy's boots. Oh, there's another cloud, so there's actually 4. And then some little flowers, okay? We're not going to use all of that, but we are going to use this and the die cut for the young lady. All right, so I'm going to pull out a piece of white. You know what? I am pretty sure I have... Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I would use this eventually anyway. But we are going to... Okay. This is a white stamp pad that comes empty, blank, with a white refill. I already have a white refill. I already have it white. So I did not want white. What I did is I took the memento, which I don't see right here. I took the memento and refilled a blank white one. And now it is my memento stamp pad. And the reason I did that is I love the way this thing stamps, the way it picks up ink and stamps. So There we go. A lot of demonstrators have been doing that lately, and I thought I would give it a try, not thinking I would really like it, but oh my, I really like it. Okay, so there's my young lady. I'm going to color her in a minute, and I'm going to set her aside for the moment, and then I'm going to bring my old cardstock in, and I'm just going to cut off a piece like I had cut before. Okay, and don't want to bury my scissors. And I am going to stamp again on this. There we go. And clean this up. Got a little bit of ink on there, which is just fine. That's the reason I use this. I love my glass mat. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, then I could fussy cut this, or I can go ahead. Now I just had my I just had my die here because I just showed it to you. What did I do with it? All right, got to find it. It's here because I just used it. Hold on one sec. Oh, so silly. Here it is. Just covered it up with the block. Okay, so I've got these two. I'm going to go ahead and cut them out with the die. And because I'm going to use the mini, I do want to cut a little bit of this out, just to give myself a space. And then with my plates, because I'm cutting a die, I want 1, 2, and 2. Okay, I'm going to open the die cutter up. I am going to put my 1 and 2 on here. I'm going to displace them a little bit, meaning I'm not going to stack them up exactly on top of each other. I'm going to move them just a little bit apart. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because some people have had difficulty with the mini wanting to grab and go through. And so if you do kind of like this, out, in, out. Okay, does that make sense? You see how those are? All right, then if you need help on that, just let me know. I can give you some help. I have had a couple of times that it didn't want to cut, but if I just pulled it out and, like I said, displaced or moved those, I am going to put a little bit of tape on here, then it went just fine. So now I'm going to put my top on there, and I can tell that it's going to grab. Did you see that? See how it's moving the handle? So I know that it's going to grab and go through. So I put my hand on the handle at the top, roll it through, and voila. Let me move this for a second. I have my die. There we go. Die cut, I should say. This is the die. This is the die cut. All right, so let's put this little character or umbrella on there. And again, I'm going to set it up. Make sure I have everything just so. Put my little piece of tape on there. This particular one is, it doesn't even say. It's just a repositionable tape. That's funny. They didn't even put their own name on there. Interesting. Anyhow, put this in. Again, you can see my handle is moving. I know that it's already grabbed, so I'm going to run it through. And it popped. That popping just meant the end of the die, this part down here, finally went through the blades, if you will. Okay, there we go. I'm going to toss this, although I do want to keep my little tape, I use it over and over and over again until it's no longer sticking. Okay. Then I'll just close up the wings on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I store it like this on top of the plates. So let me put it back there. Then I'm going to take this, and I'm actually going to cut just on, you know what, I think I'll do it differently this time. No, I think I do want to cut at the base of that. And notice my left hand, my non-dominant hand, non-cutting hand, is moving the paper. And then my dominant hand, or in my case, my right hand, is cutting with the scissors. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off. I'm cutting right along that line, that stamped line, so that when I place it, there we go. When I place it on here, ta-da, you know what? I'm considering I might even, it's fine, just like it is. I was going to say I could cut along the top as well, but I'm not going to do it. All right, so then everything else is garbage. Now I want to cut. Now, this is funny. I really meant to do her jacket in another color because I wanted her to have blue jeans on, which is why I chose the blue. But I think what I'm going to do is color the boots and the rain slicker in the, what is this color? Fresh Freesia. And then I'm going to go ahead and color her boot. I mean, oh my goodness. I'm going to give her jeans again, like I said. So I'm starting with the light, and this is Boho Blue. And I generally tend to start with the lighter color, and I often color the entire thing. Let me go ahead and put you down a little bit lower again on this, and color the entire whatever it is that I'm doing, okay, with the light color. I almost filled that hole in. Don't want to do that. Okay, it's just a little tiny bit there. And then I take my dark, and this time I'm going to go with the chisel end rather than the brush end, which is what I was just using. And I'm going to color the marks, and then there would probably be a little bit of shadow right down here by the boots. And then I will go back to the light with that brush end and just give it a little more to blend that dark color in. Okay, there would also actually probably be a little bit of dark under her rain slicker, so maybe we'll do a little bit of dark right there as well. And again, now you don't have to do it as many times as I've done it. I just forgot to do. There we go. And that helps to blend it. Now, it's so small that it also looks pretty dark. All right. I did her hair just in, it doesn't matter what you do. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Hello. I really wanted to give her light Cajun craze. I may have to go back and do that anyway, because I started with the dark. That darker color is what I wanted at the bottom of her boots. Just right there. Okay. All right. So I said I sent, at least I assume I did because I can't find it, my Fresh Freesia home blends. Okay. So I am going to, this is, just such a great opportunity to show you how you can get colors even when you don't have them. Okay. So I am going to open up my fresh Freesia. I'm going to use my block, and I can always get more, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to take, this is a blender pen, and I'm going to take it and pick up color, okay, and color the boots, okay. Put that right near me. And that way, even though I don't have my blends, now this does not color the same way that the blends do. But you know what? I'm not worried about it. It's a very small area. Now, the jacket is a much bigger area. Okay, so there's my boots, but I'm not going to worry about it. If I need it to be darker, for example, on the coat, on the slicker here, I colored with the boho blue. I colored the top of the pocket and, of course, all of those lines, but I am not. It's a small enough area that I am not going to worry about it. And I'm just picking up some color with my blender pen. And putting it down. And that way, I have the color I want. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. There really isn't. And I could have done exactly the same thing that I did there, except color the boots, the fresh Freesia. So you do you. Use what you have. Don't make it a big deal when you go to color something. I need some more ink. Don't make it a big deal when you go to color something and you don't have the color. Here's another thing that I just love. I bought all the colors, but I did that because I knew I intended to sell things, to sell Stampin' Up, okay? But if you're just doing it because you love doing it, you don't have to have every single color. And if you get some of the kits that have stamps and therefore they have ink in them, and then you do paper pumpkin, you will have a lot of, at the end of the year, you will have at least 12 colors in the Stampin' spots. And if you get some of the kits, like I said, the just regular kits, not just the, now that's going to blend a little bit better as it dries. But right now I'm just kind of trying to make some of those other marks on it. There we go. How cool is that? Now to get this off, I just simply take a, whoa! I dropped a piece of paper. I just take a paper and roll that. You see how I'm rolling my blender pen? And I roll it. It may be stained on here, but as long as none of the fresh Freesia, see, no fresh Freesia is coming out anymore, okay? Then it's clean and ready to use for another color. All right, so then to clean this, just simply wipe it off. All right, so I'm going to do that. And often I would use a baby wipe, but there we go. Okay, let me move you back up. Sorry, hope that's not making you dizzy. All right, so let's come back to this. So I wanted something. Let me put my umbrella on there. I wanted something that was going to look a little bit like rain. And my first intention had been to use the stamp. Where'd it go? Here we go. The stamp that will stamp rain. That was my first intention. But then I saw this one. This is the, oh, what's it called? It's like plaster, but it looks a lot like rain, especially if you cover up bits of it. And so I thought, I'm going to use it. It's not perfect, but I really like it. So that's what we're going to use. Whoops, I need to quit talking and put this on here before my glue dries. Okay, just line up those umbrella lines in the stamp on the original die cut. And there we go. Now, I almost like this one better, but I'm going to go with this one because I just created it. It doesn't really matter, right? It just means I need to make another card. This one is the storm will end and the sun will shine again. I stamped this on a 2 3/4 punch. And I am going to put, now I had already put dimensionals on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on here. I should just use the old one, but oh well, right? There we go. And I am going to cut a little tiny sliver right there to go on her feet. There we go. Now, before I put all this together, this is a fresh Freesia. It is 8.5 by 5.5. This I dry embossed. Like I said, I'll get you the name for this down in the description. I can't remember it right off the bat. But I put it right here to get most of what looks like rain there, at least to me. And this one is 1/4 inch less on each side. So it is 4 by 5 1/4. And I am going to, now I also had stamped my sentiment in both fresh Freesia and in black. I really like the fresh Freesia, but I think it gets lost. So I did go ahead and stamp that in black, and I am going to glue it down. And my little girl is going to go right here. My sentiment right there. And I could even do the little doggy to put with her, but this is okay. So I'm going to tear off the backings for my dimensionals. Somebody once asked me, do you have to put dimensionals? Well, of course not. You don't have to do anything, right? But it does give it some lift, and it does make it, that dimension for it is, and I should have put my ribbon on there first, but it does get already cut some. Okay, so I think I am going to see if I can pull this little bitty bit up here. I don't want it to tear. Okay, I could use my, there we go. Whoop. Okay, so let me show you what you can also do. I don't have an outlet close enough to me. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull that up. I meant, oh yeah, I think that's just fine as long as it doesn't tear. Do you hate it when somebody takes apart their card they just put together? Okay, so come out there. There we go. All right, so I want my ribbon, whoops, I want it to go in the back, okay, and come across like this, and I am going to tie my bow right there, see if those will stay. Oh, they do, perfect. And then I'm going to tie a bow in my ribbon Going to lay that down. It's not wanting to lay down flat on the card, so I am going to get a, what do you call these things? Whoops, that's the wrong end. We'll use the scissors. Glue dot, and put it right there to hold that. There we go. Okay. And then I want to go perpendicular. So I'm going to pull it up like this. Okay. There. Get it a little bit closer. Perfect. And tie my bow. If I can get that to come through. Beaks. It doesn't want to, of course, when I'm on the camera. If I'm on the camera. Come on. Now, if you can't get it to tie, what you can do is use something like a bow jig to tie your bow, and then just put your ribbon that goes around on it. But there we go, a little bit smaller. I like smaller bows. I don't want the bow to take over the card, but I thought this one just needed a bow. There we go. All right, and we're going to trim that. Well, if I can get over there and trim this and trim that. There we go. That's just so cute. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. And because I've got that a little bit of dimension from the dry embossing, I do want to put enough glue on there. And notice I'm also gluing the ribbon down while I'm at it. So I am going to put that just there. Isn't that just too cute? I love it. Oh my goodness, that is so adorable. Now, which one do you like better? I almost like this one better, but I'm not going to worry about it. Not even going to worry about it. Whoops, that is popping up. That's why I said you want that extra glue in there. So, but I also don't want it coming out the top. All right, so sometimes what you need to do is put some blocks on there to hold that down. Okay, if you get glue on you and you don't like that feeling, get you a little bit, teeny little bit, there we go, of hand sanitizer, and that'll take that right off. Okay, all right, there we go. Isn't that just too cute? Now, I do want to, we should be good there, put a piece to sign. Well, my goodness, I have another little corner right here. I just said put enough glue on there, didn't I? Okay, put that in there, and I'll put my blocks on it again. There we go. That just gives it a little bit of hold. When you do emboss these, it does, didn't get enough of this, it does change the size just ever so slightly. But it also raises it up. And so it may not want to stay down. And that's what I was having difficulty with on here. And now it seems to be just fine. So I'm going to put a piece on the inside. And I had some cut for the inside. You want to do those the same size that we did this one, which was 4 by 5 1/4. And so let me cut a couple more. Be nice if I covered up the glue. Okay, so we want 5 1/4 right there. And again, I keep those. Never know when I might need that for a sentiment. It's got a little something on there. And cut it at 4. And while I'm at it, I'll cut another one at 4 just because. And again, save that for a sentiment. Okay, so now I have at least these 2, one of which I'm going to use. All right, so let's see if there might be something. We said the storm will end and the sun will shine. I think I'll do Be Brave. I do just like that. It's so cute. So I'm going to put a little bitty Be Brave in there. And where is my... And I think I will do this one in Fresh Freesia. Now, it's a matter of where I want to put it. Do I want it here? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Be Brave. I like it. And I think we will go ahead and put the little doggy right there as well. So, see, it's almost him saying it, right? And I'll go ahead and do the dog in Fresh Freesia. Kind of funky, but we'll do it. Okay. Be brave because you're loved. There we go. Love it. So cute. Now, you notice that I did stamp before, oh, Patricia Diane. Do you see this, what I did? I stamped for a portrait card when I've got a landscape. So that other one that I just cut will work right now. Oh my goodness. It happens. It just makes sure that I will create another card. Whoa, Patricia, turn it this way. No. I almost did it again. Too funny. Okay, so there's my little doggy. And he's going to say, be brave. There we go. Be brave. And this time, it is landscape. All right, so now we can put this one on the inside. Oh, what I started to say is you'll notice I stamped it before I put it in the card. Now, in this case, it might have been a good idea to have stamped it in the card because that would have reminded me that it was a landscape card and not a portrait card. But who knows? I might have. And then I would have been, what do I do now? If I had stamped it. There we go. So cute. Even with scraps that I can use for paper piecing. And I used my blender pen to create a color that I did not have markers for. Too cute. Do you like it? I hope you do. If you would give me a comment below letting me know whether you think I should have used the old one that I had made or whether this one was better. And if you've ever used a blender pen with a stamp set, with a stamp ink stamp, an ink color when you did not have the regular color that you really, really needed, and who this card might work for in your life. All right. Love you guys. Give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Share the video. If you've not already done so, please subscribe. Click that bell so you can get notifications. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.